My father's name is Marlowe Gardner, and he was born and raised right here in Blackfoot. He was a pilot in the Landsberg Air Force Base there in Germany.
My grandfather was a World War II veteran. He was in the Pacific Theater.
There are 4 of my nephews who have served in Afghanistan in the military.
I have a history of 4 generations in the military.
My father-in-law and 6 uncles served in World War II. I have a brother-in-law who served in Vietnam, and I have 2 son-in-laws that both served in Iraq.
The emotional toll that it must have taken on my grandpa, who was just a good, humble person from southeast Idaho, that had to witness that. And if he witnessed that, how many other people witnessed things like that as well, and how that must have affected them?
I will always respect them for that.
This is the flag that was draped over my father's coffin. My mother was only 24 years old at the time with 2 little kids. My sister was 5 and I was 2. So it was a very abrupt change in our life. My father-in-law would get a tear in his eye every time he saw the flag.
Over at the courthouse, they had a billboard that had all the veterans who had fought in the wars. I used to be in maintenance, and I would go out and mow lawns around that, and I just did not feel that that was adequate. A man by the name of Dick Brower, he would talk about his goal of getting all the veterans on that plaque over here at the courthouse. He said he couldn't do it by himself. His eyes were failing, his health was failing. We need to carry on Dick Brower's legacy of trying to get something that was a little more appropriate for those who have fought for our country and for our freedoms.
You know, I've had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., and I've seen the World War II Memorial there and the Korean War Memorial and the Vietnam Memorial. And it's nice to have something like that right here in Blackfoot so that we can remember those who served and sacrificed for this area.
I've seen many people talking about this park, and sons of fathers that have served light up as they thought about, oh, that's so neat to have my father honored or my brother honored in something they did in this park. So that's why it's important.
We're not quite finished with it. We're trying to raise the funds for a statue that will go up on the rock behind me.
I'm Ben Hammond. I'm a sculptor. The one thing I always tell people, and they say, well, what did you learn growing up in southeast Idaho? I grew up and I learned how to work hard, and I'm very appreciative of that. I learned that family was important, and I learned to appreciate the sacrifices of those that have put their lives on the line for our country. I sort of came onto the scene in 2007, where my first piece won a national award. I started getting into galleries like in Scottsdale, Arizona, and started having some success to the point where I was like, okay, I'm starting to make somewhat of a living. I was eventually elected a member of the National Sculpture Society. If I have commissions and people think enough of my work to continue to hire me for what it costs to make things in bronze, it's always flattering. I'm always happy. I get just excited right now when I sell a piece in a gallery as I did 15 years ago, that somebody's willing to part with their hard-earned money to buy my artwork because it means something to them. That's awesome. Most of my bronzes, some of the smaller ones, I mean, are at least $2,000 to $5,000 just for a small bronze. So even the smallest things I do are not cheap. When you get into the monumental scale, it's closer, if not over $100,000. I mean, I'm working on a piece right now that's $300,000. It's a big monument. It's taken 2 years of my life just to work on the large scale. All the build up to it was 4 years before that, so it's literally a 7-year project that I've been working on. There's a lot of money it takes to invest into that kind of project, but there's a reason you can go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and see pieces from Greece that are 3,000 years old. Bronze lasts a long time. It's a generational investment. If you invest the money on a competent artist, create a great piece of artwork, once it's in bronze, it lasts forever. The thing about this project, I'm doing it for a significant reduction of what I usually charge because I really want to do something for my home state, my home county, my hometown. Bingham County means something to me. Blackfoot means something to me. If it means that much to me, it probably means a lot to everybody that's spent a significant portion of their lives there. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. You know, he'd share funny stories, things that went on. He'd share stories about how seasick he was going across on the boat. But he also shared stories about the horrors of war. He had the privilege of being part of the liberating army that was freeing a lot of people in the Philippines and eventually all the way into Japan. And he just talked about how happy people were to be free, to be released from their oppressors, and also that sadness that oppressors could put on people, imprisoning people. That had a significant effect on my life. Just like any project, it takes a lot of people and a lot of input. We decided to show a World War II era veteran handing the flag, passing on the responsibility to the rising generation, because that World War II generation, what we call the greatest generation, is gone from us. I mean, there's a few left, but that's about it. They went through a lot. That's sort of the genesis and the idea for this piece, is not only passing that flag to symbolize the sacrifice that people make in our behalf, but also to symbolize that responsibility. Here's the American flag, here's the cause of freedom, this symbol of freedom, and it's your turn now to stand up for truth, for freedom, for the whole world. So that's the idea behind it.
I've had one kid come up to me and say, hey, I'm so glad that you're there. I don't think that I ever could be there. And I can look at him and I can say, you know what, that's okay, because that's why I'm here. I'm here for you. And that monument is pretty cool, because that soldier's basically saying, I'm here for you. Thank you for your dad's service. Thank you for who they are. But we're here. And maybe those children and that youth, maybe one day that sense of pride that hit me years later might come back and they can get in.
Every great monumental piece of artwork has taken a great artist and someone that financed that piece of artwork. An artist cannot afford just to do really big artwork and hope somebody likes it. It has to be something that somebody invests in. You go to the great American cities, those great parks where there's beautiful sculpture around them would not exist if it wasn't for the people that donated to have that artwork created. Think about the legacy that you leave behind. If we want to create a legacy that people appreciate, especially something as important as a legacy where we're saying thank you to those who have served, thank you to those who are serving. We support you and are grateful for your service, but we're also going to be of service. We're going to also take on this responsibility. We're going to stand up for freedom. And if you want a monument that says that, you have to invest in it. I've talked to people that have donated a couple $100s, I've talked to people that have donated $1,000, and then other people that have donated a significant amount because they're able to financially. And every little bit helps, and it's important. It's our legacy. This is what we're saying to this next generation when we're gone. This is what was important to us.
This memorial to me is extremely important. Yes, for those who have served, but I think it goes beyond that. The grandparents, the parents, my spouse, the family, it's for them. They have the opportunity to come here and to honor those, feel for themselves of the importance of who we are and what we represent and what this country, what the community is all about.
This monument tells the rest of the world that Bingham County loves and appreciates our veterans, loves and appreciates those that are serving, love their country, love their state, love their community, and they would do anything for it to help it. Yeah, we don't have a lot of billionaire Wall Street investors that live in our state and in our town, but we have enough people that could give to help create this monument to let the rest of the country and the rest of the world know that this is what's important to us.
Once we start forgetting who we are and what we represent, we forget about really what these freedoms are. With freedoms, everything has choice and accountability. Everything that we do has some type of a consequence that comes our way. But when we remember, then and only then can we sit back and say, hey, I'm a part of them. They're a part of my life. That's my name, that's my history, that's who I am. I got to represent that. How am I representing that name? How am I creating this legacy? One person that changed, it's a domino effect. And once you forget, there's no telling where we'll end up. We gotta remember.
Back on the wall that's behind me, where the names of the fallen soldiers will be, there was a rock that says hope. I don't know who put that there, but that to me is my dream, that everybody will catch the vision of this memorial, contribute what they can, help see this whole monument finished and fulfilled for the people who have put so much time and effort into defending our country. These lives are not forgotten. Those who fought in the wars will come here and visit this and realize that we do care about them and that we do appreciate their sacrifice.
Thank you to the sacrifices our veterans have made over the years.
Their service means a lot to me and our family, and I'm sure there's many others in this area who have the same feelings about their family members who served.
Thank you to the people of Bingham County for giving me this opportunity to give something back. When it's all said and done, this is just going to be a beautiful little monument there in the city of Blackfoot that generations are going to appreciate. People are going to go there and have feelings and emotions awaken in them that hopefully makes them proud of where they're from and also proud of those that have gone before them and sacrificed for them, and hopefully inspires them to want to sacrifice as well.